Hi. So again, I want to talk a little bit about these four kinds of directionality. One of them would be what's called dharmas. Another one of these would be aesthetics, and then another one of these would be merit, and then finally yoga or union. And these are the four directions. These are related to these medieval uh, values of truth, goodness, beauty, and unity. Um, Truth being related to dharmas, beauty related to aesthetics, goodness related to merit, and unity related to union or yoga. Um, so when we're practicing in Vajrayana, it's not just about one of these elements. Um, it's not just only about the textuality of something, um, because that is useful only in terms of when there's doubt involved. And then that is related to just ignorance. Um, there could be other things happening. For example, this is just related to the motivation. If the motivation is not right, if the aim is not right, and then what needs to be done is that the aim needs to be corrected, and for that we need the right motivation of joy, equanimity, compassion, and a loving kindness. And for that, you really need to have a level of union or devotion to a teacher, um, a friend, a companion. It requires devotion. Um, because if your motivation is not good, then nothing is going to work properly. Um, if your motivation, if someone is confused, if they've got lots of doubts, and there's a need to dispel these doubts and to bring wisdom, then yes, there is the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra that will help clear that up. And then the best thing to do is to have someone that you are a spiritual friend or a companion, a teacher, or so forth that you share that with, so that you have a pure aim in what you're doing, which is called a bodhicitta. Um, and the the one issue that happens in philosophical circles is this sort of unwholesome result that ends up being this these disputes, and these are always resulting because of some kind of competitive motivation. And the Pyrrhonist skeptics were there to interrupt that. Um, and This is actually one thing in education that we have to be really aware of. We have to remember that the first university was Nalanda University, and all of the education that was there was based on a pure motivation and a particular lineage. a Nalanda lineage, and the motivation has to be very pure. That we really do have to have these four positive motivational factors, and without that, then we can't really even take the first step. Um, so this is uh, this is really essential. Then if you don't have pure motivation, then you have to go back and you have to work on the motivation. And you do that by basically renouncing these negative motivational factors, renouncing competition. And if you have difficulties doing that, then you need to go back to the Hinayana practices, which are involving um, renunciation, and as well as lots of practice and meditation, consistent meditation through mindfulness, anapanasati, and meditations on dependent origination, or satipatthana practices. And you need to just focus on that, because if the motivation is self-centered, then you need to go into the Hinayana practices, and to clarify through the Abhidharma. And then finally, you can try to approach it to get the pure motivations of the aim through devotion, which are coming. They might come to you slowly through the Mahayana, and then finally to the Vajrayana. But it's you need a certain level of faith to do that. So over time, you can develop that. If you have a very self-centered motivation, then you really do have to practice through these anapanasati, and through these other meditative practices to purify that. So do that, and remember that if you're actually going in that direction, then you're not going to approach through reason, because if you try to do approach through reason, this ends up being related to the Mahayana Sutra of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, and eventually you could approach that, but you really do need a practice to be able to see your own faults and your own positive qualities in order to get some level of orientation.